Um, okay, we're live, Jessica. Can people can see you? Everybody, that's her. That little face there on the camera. We just tried to do a Facebook Live, and I froze up first, and she decided to freeze up, and so we decided to do a live on YouTube right now. We got to promote different people's loved ones without, and we don't have to mention their names like we're not going to on this one. But I'd like Jessica to share a little bit as she did on a live on who is she. I mean, not who the name or anything, but um, who is she helping? Uh, were they juveniles, adults? But I'd like her to share a little bit about each one. And Jessica, you don't have to mention the name. Okay, go ahead.
So I got started with the whole prison involvement, I guess you could say, with my ex, my boyfriend when I was from like 12 to 15. And he committed a crime when he was 17 and got sentenced 50 to life at 17 years old. And so he's been in there for 19 years. I've been by his side pretty much the whole time, trying to help him as much as I can. He doesn't really have that many people. His father passed away in 2004, and his mom is a little bit older, and she lives out of state and doesn't drive. So he has two brothers that don't really want much to do with him, and so I pretty much all he has.
That's sad enough right there, not having much of a family, especially when you're still fairly young.
Yes. He did have an aunt that he was close to, but she passed away back in May, I believe it was. No, it was February, end of February she passed away. And she left him a decent sum of money, and he was been trying to get a lawyer, which I had been calling for a lawyer for him. I think I've talked to maybe 20 different lawyers, and nobody really wants to take his case. And there's a lot of things that happened while he was being sentenced and all that stuff that I don't think was handled correctly, but we don't really have a lot of proof of that. And he, I believe he was definitely over-sentenced at 17. His crime was not premeditated. It was pretty much a robbery gone bad, and he was on drugs, so he didn't really know what he was doing. So I think to sentence a 17-year-old to 50 to life for a one-time, I mean, yeah, he absolutely deserves to, do some time. But 50 years, I mean, he doesn't get to go to parole board until he's 68.
Right, and under the new law, it's day for day. If your sentence is 50 to life, that's when you go up at 50. Under the new law, it's 2/3 of their sentence. Well,
and he's, I don't fully think that he's actually ready to get out. I know that I can't say I know, but I'm pretty sure he would be a good, continue to try to be a better person, and he definitely would not go back to his life of drugs and everything. He is also very remorseful and everything, but he has gotten himself into several fights and has not really taken many classes, and which is not entirely his fault, because when you have so much time, they don't even let you get in the classes. They want people who only have like 7 years or less or something like that.
Right. So he's got about 25 more years to go, correct?
Pretty much.
And the other friend's got how much time does he have?
He has 5. He's been there for 25 years. At 15 years old.
Is that your boyfriend?
Yes.
Okay.
He is very different than my ex. He's a little bit older. He's I think he's only gotten maybe 1 ticket, and it wasn't even his fault, and it was like 7 years ago. But he's been in the dog program since 2001 or something. For a while, he's been in the dog program, and all he does is do the dog program, take naps, watch football games, and he's always been 100% admitting to his crime, remorseful. You know, he's just ready. After 25 years, he's just ready to come home and start his life.
Right.
And you know, his crime was somewhat similar to my ex, although he was not on drugs or anything like my ex was. He kind of was having a bad home life, I'll just say, and kind of reacted in the only way he knew how, I should say, kind of like a defense mechanism in a way. So he wasn't this, horrible person that was committing all these crazy multiple crimes or nothing like that.
Most of the people aren't horrible people or horrible crimes. It's 5 minutes out of the day, like we were saying at the beginning.
Right. Right.
There might be serial murderers and rapists, and not that they can't change, but you have to have people need to be held accountable.
Right.
So,
and he's like the lot difference between him and my ex is that my ex is not fully accepting of his crime. I know a lot that was in the newspapers and stuff about my ex, about the crime, the way it happened and everything are not accurate.
Right.
But my ex is not taking full responsibility for his part in it and everything. So I honestly don't feel he is exactly ready to be released. But my boyfriend most definitely is. And he is actually glad that he went to prison because he needed to change. And he's just, like I said, he's 40. He's got high blood pressure. He's got back problems. He's got a foot problem. All he does is take naps and watch football games and train the dogs. He's like the top trainer there, or one of the top trainers or whatever. So he's just, ready to get out and start his life. And
it seems like he is.
Yes, his dad's a good man. He can go be released to his father. His father is, he's a little bit older too. But he has a job.
Yeah. Where is he from?
He's from Akron.
Okay. I think you did say that.
Yeah. So he definitely does not want to, hang out with people that are into bad things. I'll just say he just wants to work. He just wants to work and
continue on the right path is what he wants to do.
Right, and he didn't really have a whole lot of people for a while either. He does have a couple sisters, and his mother who don't really visit him too often. His dad doesn't really visit him very often either. So when I kind of make a joke about his blog that he wrote on the, your guys' old blog thing with, when the guys write in, whatever.
Right.
His blog wasn't it was back in June. His blog wasn't very interesting, I should say.
That's
And
not nice.
he was talking about the Senate Bill 100, and I hadn't even heard about it. And I had run to him thinking that, oh, well, he could tell me about the Senate bill, and I could, use that information to help my ex. Because I'm in the process of trying to help my ex.
Yeah, that's Cecil Thomas's bill.
What was that?
That's Cecil Thomas's bill, a Democrat out of Cincinnati who sits on the Judiciary Committee. But it was not strong enough, though. It brought people back to the pro board earlier, but there's nothing in there that says they have to pro them or anything.
Right, and that's another thing. My boyfriend is he has a lot of hope for the pro board because he knows, he's had some of his friends, like his Sally just went home. So he has seen people go home, but I, heard a lot about people not being able to go home, and I've never been a very positive person, so, I try not to, I don't want him to lose hope, but I also want him to not get his hopes up too high, and expect it to happen, but he does have a lot of things on his side, but I know it could go either way. I almost can't even talk about it without like crying and freaking out, and but he's like, that's not going to do you any good. All we can do is just prepare the best way we can, and
Yeah. And what I want the people to know is the mothers, the fathers, the girlfriends, and the wives, they go through their loved ones' time with them. And it's very difficult, getting a phone call on Christmas. Years ago, when I was in Mansfield, we only could get one call a year, and it was around Christmas time. And if our loved ones weren't home, you had to wait till next year.
That's crazy.
Right. But, I was 17 at the time myself. So I was more of a brat, though. Yeah, I remember when I first got locked up. Yeah, somebody said, if somebody says something wrong, smack them. So I had a dude come up to me and say something. I hit him right in the mouth, and all he said was hi to me.
Wow.
I got my butt kicked, though. You don't hit somebody for saying hi. It was that I more or less panicked because I remember what I was told. No, but yeah, there's a lots and lots of work that needs to be done. We need to revamp the whole system from the bottom up, from the top down. I like some of the things the new director's doing, but if it's not law, she could change it at any time back to the old ways. And there's nothing in there right now that she's doing that I know about that would bring juveniles up any sooner. But who knows? That could be something she's going to do or look into.
Right. I think it's, it's time, and I wouldn't say, that he was ready to get out if he wasn't.
Right.
Because I'm being very honest about my ex, saying he's not ready, but my boyfriend is definitely ready, and I need him, he's most likely not going to be able to come home to me because I know they don't like them to go home to girlfriends.
Especially if they've only been together for a few years. They think that's why they frown upon people getting married sometimes in prison, because they think you did it for the parole purpose.
Oh, yeah, I guess that would make sense.
But
I'm
yeah.
fine with him going to his dad as long as, because I know his dad is good, good support, good, we'll help him and everything. But he really, really deserves it. I wouldn't say it if he didn't. And I've actually had a family member. So I understand that side of it too.
Is he at reintegration out there at Grafton?
I don't think so.
Okay, if he's on the inside, oh, hold on a second. Okay, there you go. If he's on the inside, tell him to say hi to Owen Kilbane. He was a hired hitman for Judge Steele's wife 40 years ago. You know,
Wow.
he should have been home too, but him and his brother was professional hitmen. He's got a program in there that your friend could benefit from inside of Grafton.
Okay.
But but this is really sad to hear, you know, what they're going through, and that's just two of really, I would say within our system, because we got 53,000. I'd say there's probably a couple thousand juveniles, not all doing life, but some of them might be doing 50 years flat time, you know, or 25 years flat time by being charged and convicted as adults. I don't agree that juveniles should ever get life without the possibility of parole, though.
No.
That's abuse, and Ohio does it, but they're looking to change it. So,
right. And
yeah.
I just think they deserve, you know, a chance a little bit earlier than 30 years. I mean, that's kind of ridiculous. Obviously, if they're not making any kind of progress while they're in there, they're still playing games and whatever, then absolutely not. But I mean, it's ridiculous when they're, you know, 40, 50 years old, and it's like, what kind of life are they going to have
Right.
when they get out? Because if he really ends up having to wait till for 5 more years, he'll be 45.
Right. And you pick up a lot of illnesses, like I'm eating ramen noodle soups all day long. I must pick up my heart disease from there, and within 2 weeks of my release, I had triple bypass. You know, and then several heart attacks. But they need to eat right in there as much as they don't want to. But those soups are dangerous.
Yes, I do tell him about that, and I make sure I yell at him. I say, "You better eat some vegetables." And I tell him to drink his water. So.
And you know what we do when our wives or girlfriends say that, we say yes, ma'am. When we get off the phone, we roll our eyes. So.
I know, but he swears he only drinks one pop, and at the end of the day, I'm not into pop, and I know it's not good for you, but I have multiple health issues that were not because of anything that I did wrong. I was pretty much born with certain things. It was hereditary stuff.
Right.
So and it is heart related, but it's kind of a complicated kind of thing. But
wow, you're kind of young to have all those problems, though. My heart goes out to you on that.
Yeah, it's rough. It's rough, and then just other things that are not heart related, just other things that do make life hard. So you know, I just, you know, like I said, he has some heart. Not he doesn't have heart, but he has high blood pressure and back issues and something wrong with his foot, and I pretty much have all those things too. That high blood pressure, I have low, like you were having issues last week or whatever.
Mine was stress, though, I think.
You know,
yeah, but
it's just like, you know, I want him to come home and so we can have, because we've only known each other for five months. So I want us to be able, I mean, and I'll be 40 in a couple years. He just turned 40. Like, you know, we don't really know how long we have in life, you know, and I want to be able to have at least 20 years with him.
Yeah, it would be nice. You know, it seems like you understand inmates for the most part, and I don't even like calling them inmates. I like calling them residents because they are a resident of one of the finest hotels in Ohio.
Yeah.
You know, as they want to say. Now, are you still looking for transportation to the prison?
To go my ex, yes, but like I was saying, he's not. He hasn't really been fully behaving himself. He's actually under restriction right now. So I am still looking for a way to get down to London. I know all the places.
Where do you live by? What city?
By Mentor, Lake County.
Lake County. So you need a ride from Lake County to London. That's probably 2.5 hours, maybe.
Yeah.
London just had a big change up there with the warden. A lady warden's going to come up here because there was an issue with Norm Robinson, who I've known for many years, the warden up there. That I'm not going to get into it on here, but they're having a lady warden that I tell you, any lady warden I know besides Christine Money and Warden Beatlup and Marion are usually bad news because they go strictly beyond the book. You know, to make men's lives miserable because they have the power against the men. Of course, they're pretty tough in the women's prison as well, and the women are more violent in their institutions. You don't want to mess with a woman, and I definitely stay away from that institution. So.
Yeah, he's had some issues down in London. He wanted to leave. He was actually going to get a transfer, but he has eye problems. He had eye surgery and stuff.
Uh-huh.
And London had that special eye program or whatever it is. Like he's I guess he's in with the blind program or something.
Right.
And he can't. I guess it's the only place that does that. So then he decided not to transfer.
Well, after he gets that done, where does he want to go?
He just wanted to go closer so I can visit, since I'm like all that he has.
Like Richland?
That
would be about an hour. How about Lake Erie? How close is that to Lake County?
It's about an hour, I think.
So that's not super far, but Grafton's probably about an hour, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like an hour and 5 minutes, I think. And
yeah, it took my parents from Parma Heights a half hour to get there, I think. Half hour to 40 minutes.
So, I mean, he's doing a lot better. He was having issues with one of the COs there. I guess she was picking on him or whatever it is that he said. I don't really know. But they moved him. I think he moved him 3 times since like July. So he's doing better though. He's doing better, but
instead of you calling in, let me do that for you because what can they do to me? Nothing. You got to protect your visits.
Right.
I've known you recently went back to work. How's work coming for you?
Good. It's at a nursing home. I used to work there 17 years ago.
Uh-huh.
And then I ended up switching jobs, and then I had a baby, so I took time off and took 8 years off. And just went back. It's always been my favorite job for some reason. It's just laundry in a nursing home, which people were like, really?
Yeah, my dad's in a memory nursing home. It's $7,000 a month. They are expensive.
Yeah.
And this is in Brunswick. So just make sure you keep a bed open for me someday.
Yeah.
But
so far so good. I'm only doing like 3 days a week.
That's not bad.
Used to it again,
This last week I've gotten so many calls from inmates, their families. They're not getting their medication. They want transfers. They're in segregation. And there's only certain things that really can help with. Medical I'm pretty good at. If they're in segregation, depending what it is, if I can't even get involved, but people expect you to do the impossible sometimes, but I have never turned anybody down talking. Christmas is the worst time you have the mothers calling the little old ladies that little Johnny's locked up. They call it to cry, and I just listen to them. Because to them it's important.
Right.
And seriously, that's when you get the old ladies calling. And then I've had victims call too, and that was not quite as pleasant. But I listen because they're hurting too.
Yeah.
That's why I'm so glad that Lynette Grace is with us, because she was a victim, and she can be a go-between, because I'm the worst person to talk to the victim because of my background. It has to really be somebody that's squeaky clean, like you probably.
I've
Yeah.
never nothing.
I was telling a judge this one time. I said, wait till something happens to your son. Well, a year later, his son got arrested, 25 years for, I'm not going to say what the crime was, but he speaks at conferences now. And he said, he should have sentenced people differently.
Wow.
But sometimes it takes something like that for people to really understand what the issues are.
Right.
Not that we want somebody to have their family one locked up, but sometimes that's what it takes for people to have compassion.
Right.
That's very, very sad.
Yep.
So, okay, you got a couple minutes left. What can we as a community do to help you out with your loved ones if we have somebody that can help out in any way?
Well, I am doing my research actually since pretty much the beginning of this year. I've been doing research on trying to see if there's anything I can do to help either one of them. So if anybody knows anything, I'm kind of more focused on really trying to get my boyfriend if any way he can not have to wait 5 years to go to the pro board, or anything that he can do.
Have you checked with the any lawyer to see if there's any motion, even if you would call the state of Ohio Public Defenders in Columbus and get their opinion? Call Jill Beeler, a public defender. She's working on something with juveniles.
Okay.
I'll text you the name.
Okay.
But she wants a list of all the juveniles, and we sent quite a few down there. These are people that, you had to be able to network with people, convince people. If you're in the grocery store, talk to the person behind you about what's happening about the juveniles, since that's your passion. The more support you gain, the more support we gain, then laws will start changing. I could send you a bunch of business cards. Bracelets were out of, though. My cat ripped up about 10 of them, though. They were on my wrist, and there you go, slicing it in half. It was funny today. My cat was running away from a mouse. I was so embarrassed. A mouse was chasing him down the hall. He talks about wimps. But it seems like, your two friends have somebody that really cares about them, and that's really what the inmates need. But remember, not everybody's going to get out if they have a life sentence. In my opinion, they should. Andre, when he was a pro board chair, we sat in his office and told him what we want, and he gave us the answer why he won't do it. Well, he said one thing is, sometimes when it says life, that's what it is. Now, I'm not talking about your loved ones. I doubt it, because they're juveniles. But some of these cases are pretty horrific, and they don't want them out. They don't want to give them a chance. Myself, I violated one time, did not pick up a new number or anything. That was back in 2000. I was one of the last people to get a super shock under the old law. I wasn't ready, and I probably wasn't ready until a year before, because I ran the football tickets, many other things I'm not going to get into that I wasn't doing that I should have been. That I was doing that I shouldn't have. But, change has to start within. Once we make a decision that we're going to change, that's when you start looking at yourself saying, well, I need to change this, that, and it take you're a work in progress. It takes time, and that's how it's going to be for your loved ones or loved one or double loved one. I'm not sure how to call it. Um, um, you're as bad as me. I mean, I had different girls show up there that think I liked each one of them, which I did, and I couldn't break their hearts and tell them that that I got another girlfriend because that was kind of rude. So I just accepted them all. Um, don't get in that position because remember this too, and I want to warn you. Other inmates may become friends with your friends to try to use you for money. And there's and I've seen boyfriends and girlfriends do that also to their loved ones. Always be wise.
Right.
And I'm not saying yours are doing that by any means, but I've seen it happen.
Right. Yeah,
So,
no, he's never asked me for anything, and he refuses to ask me for anything because he said, I don't want you to think that I would ever use you.
Yeah.
Like, he's never asked me one time for anything ever.
wow. I never did either, but I always had my parents supporting me.
He doesn't really have anybody. I mean, his sister gives him money like once in a while, but he really doesn't have. But, he's actually really given me more than I've given him. I was having a lot of my own issues, and he's helped me, give me a reason to want to stay strong and give me somebody to fight for. And he knows I love butterflies, and he actually had like 2 little butterflies made for me.
That's weird you just brought up butterflies. My former partner, I was the president of a group called In the Name of Justice. Her name was Amy Wicks. I don't know if you knew her or anything. She was very prominent, a national known speaker. She wrote a book. Well, I was talking to her on the phone one day, and I get a call a half hour later. She shot and killed herself. The pressure of being in the spotlight was just too much. And I personally don't even know if she actually took her own life, but her favorite thing was butterflies. And she would go up to the Franklin Conservatory where they had all the butterflies up there. I went a few times with her. And then, of course, I had butterfly bushes, and I got that more or less because of her. So, but, and then we have all different kinds flying around the front yard during the summertime. And I have a book on them to say exactly what kind of butterfly they are. Well, a couple years ago, we had a couple of people that helped out one family, especially the ones that had kids. They bought stuff for Christmas for them. It's a little bit too late to do it this year, but it's never too late to do it after Christmas. And I really would like to see, and I'm not going to be in charge of it, but see if we could find somebody that could spearhead something like that. Because if you think one out of every adult, now one out of every child has a parent that's incarcerated in the United States. Those are horrible numbers.
Right.
And I don't know if your friends have kids or not. Probably not, because they're kind of, yeah. But well, we're gonna cut this off. But I would like to have you maybe do some of the lives periodically. Maybe you could get one of your boyfriends on there. I shouldn't say one of them, but your boyfriend and your ex, and without saying the name, you don't have to say the name, what institution or anything. But let's get some of these people and feature them. And then people can always inbox you if they're able to help either legally, financially, or whatever they may do, and reach out to the community. Since you're the new host of whatever the group's called, I can't even remember. I never did tell you how I came up with fair treatment reform and reentry. One day, I was doing an interview with Channel 8 in Cleveland, and they said, "What's the name of your group?" I said, "Fair Treatment Reform." I didn't, just off the top of my head. We added reentry shortly after that, before we got our 501c3, and that just stuck with the group. But Terry Croson, our treasurer, she was there from day one with me. I remember coming up to me and say, "Well, I'll buy the business cards." Well, they were burgundy business cards because our colors was burgundy at the beginning. Then, I said, "Well, you're our treasurer now, right?" She said, "Well, only if I can quit." Well, there were several times she tried to quit, and I told her she's not allowed to because I actually trust her, and I have to have, I want people around me that I only can trust.
Right.
Recently I was a sacrifice for a bill. They wanted to destroy a bill. Block parole was behind everything. And I was talking to an attorney, which I have now, a civil rights attorney, that's going to look into the matter. But, I'm actually proud they came after me. Not that I have a record like I do, but, that means they feared us.
Right.
And they could fear us all they want. We're coming after them to win.
Yep.
Okay, well, we'll get find someone you could interview for next weekend one day in the evening time or day or whatever. Talk to one of your I don't know what to call them. This is weird though. I don't want to say loved ones because you have one loved one and one ex-loved one. Okay, that's better. Now I got it. Boy, you're as bad as me. I do want to say this. When the men come out, I want to give them counseling on how a man is the head of the household. I know that I'm going to have a lot of people moving in here because of their wives, but I told a guy that one time his wife called me up and cussed me out, and I was joking with him. But I could give marriage counseling, but I've been divorced a few times, so that wouldn't help. Well, let's. Why don't you plan on next Saturday or Sunday? See if you could find someone you could interview. It could be a wife of an inmate. I would not. I recommend you don't do male inmates unless you actually know them, because you don't want to just give your phone number out to people. But if a wife of somebody that's locked up, a mother, a daughter, you could do any of them.
Yeah. I do know when I go and visit my boyfriend in Grafton, there's a close friend of my boyfriend.
Okay, I will add you as an admin for a group page so you could do the interviews on there.
Okay.
Bring them on live like you did, or if you can't bring them on live for whatever reason, have them call in either through FaceTime or just on the phone. Hold it, below your desktop or laptop. And that's how I do it with the inmates. I kind of wished we could FaceTime with them, and we probably could with some. But I got a call not too long ago, from a guy that has a cell phone. I had to tell him, don't call me with one.
Right.
These guys are smart. At Marion a few years ago, 2 inmates learned how to get on the internet and hook up an internet to 2 computers in the attic of Marion. And of course, they got in trouble for what they were looking up, and they fired a bunch of staff members over that.
Wow.
So, okay, so Saturday or Sunday, just let me know who you pick. We'll promote it. Maybe you or Stephanie could make a poster for it and just post it on Facebook. And we need to get these videos shared, these YouTube shared, and let's get our stories, your guys' stories out there. Okay? So just find out who you're going to interview.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, whew. I ran out of stuff to say. Oh, damn.